All right, what's up, Bench Miner? And welcome to the first Bench Miner Hockey video podcast relaunch live on YouTube, your home for all things single A hockey. Real quick, before we get started, just want to shout out our sponsor of this episode, SK Cards. They're an independent trading card manufacturer right here in the USA. Releasing next month is their second edition of the Fed trading cards with over 30 players, referees, even a general manager included in this upcoming set. You can pre-order 3 different boxes online, $5 retail packs, hobby boxes, guaranteed autographed card, and a complete base set. Visit SK Cards on social media. Contact them today to place your order before they sell out. I know they're very popular in set number 1, but this is set 2 coming out here soon. Use our code BenchMiner and support the show. Super excited to have a coach, FPHL. Dude, I got like an actual thing for you. I don't know if you've heard the promo, but like FPHL, 3-time coach, Brant Sherwood.
Awesome.
You heard that yet?
I've been hearing a little bit more.
Dude, I get right into it.
Yeah, it feels good. Thanks to the players, thanks to the ownership. Couldn't do it without the support, that's for sure.
No, absolutely. I think what you got going on there in Binghamton is, dude, it's so impressive. Like, I know we said this the first year and the second year. You're on year 3 in a row, and you guys just can't be stopped. We'll talk a little bit more about your seasons here coming up here. But before we go into the future, let's go into the past a little bit. I want to talk about the Berlin River Drivers. Going back a little bit, right?
I did not expect that. No, I love it though. I loved when I played in Berlin. So yeah, shoot away.
All right. Well, I know you played your first season in the FPHL with the Berlin River Drivers. What was your experience like playing in New Hampshire for the first time pro?
So I was a year removed from college, and one of my buddies, Brian Howdy, he was skating in Rochester, New York, and asked me to come shoot on him during the holiday. And every day I was shooting on him, he tried to convince me. I was just going to community college at the time. And he's like, man, you should come play in this league, the Fed. And that was kind of the first time I ever heard of it. And by the end of the week, he convinced me the day before Christmas. I went and told my parents that I'm going to play up in Berlin, New Hampshire. And they weren't too pleased with me when I said that, because I was kind of canceling my education, which I ended up finishing, but I was really taking a chance. So I ended up going up to Berlin, and you know, I see a lot of the people to this day. Yuri Pastuka, Cameron Yarwood. Recently, Tom Tracy. He's battling cancer right now, but we had an awesome house, and it was a ton of fun. And you never forget your first year pro. And how could I forget Jay Krupp as well? That was my roommate, and we stayed in the same room. The guy is sawing logs all night, just snoring up a storm. So it was quite the experience. It's a lot different than what it is now. It was, 4 guys to a bedroom, throw a mattress in the corner when I first started off, and then finally Jay and we got our own room. So that was a real treat at that time in the Federal Hockey League.
Right, man. I tell you what. You can't say this, but I can. Berlin was my least favorite place to visit on the road.
It's not that cold up there.
I wasn't worried about the cold. I was out of Watertown. It was just, traveling through the mountains and the snowstorms, and man, the fans too. Like those guys are brutal. Those are the type of fans where it didn't matter who you guys played. They hated us. They hated the visitors. I remember one time specifically. I can't remember. It was 2016. I don't remember what the score was, but I remember we beat up on Berlin pretty good. And fans just had beer bottles, and they just threw them on the ice. They're throwing them at us, players and staff. So security kind of rushed us into the locker room to kind of wait it out. And once they gave us the all clear, we go to the bus, and the tires are slashed.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'll never forget that story.
It sounds like Berlin. Yeah, getting beer dumped on you. we had a drunk guy come into our locker room, Andre Niak. He almost, laid the lumber on him. But, yeah, it was quite the experience up there. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And kind of switching up here a little bit. I know before you joined Berlin, you played your college hockey with SUNY Cortland. I bring this up because there's been a lot of controversy with the PD Ice Cats. I don't know if you've seen all this, but the hiring of Chris Bernard. Now, most fans are kind of critical of him because of his overall record, but considering he's the head coach of the Potsdam Bears for 16 years, I kind of view this as a great hire. He has a built-up network. He has a lot of relationships with other, SUNY AC schools. What are kind of your thoughts about that hire?
I think it's a good hire. The SUNYAC, to me, it's one of the best Division III conferences and in NCAA Division III. And, you got to be well prepared. You got to have your pre-scouts down, and you got to be able to recruit as well. Now, SPHL, a little bit different recruiting pool. So that might be, a learning curve. But as far as, hockey knowledge goes, the guy knows what he's doing. He's coached at a pretty competitive high level. So they should be pleased with that hire. That's for sure. And it's going to be a struggle for PD off the start. They're a little late to their announcement getting into the SPHL, and a lot of these players are signed by now. But it's about building a culture and establishing a team identity off the bat. So hopefully he can do that and just kind of build a foundation. And I think to make playoffs in their first year would be a great success.
Oh, 100%. And you see these forums online and people have their own opinions, and granted, we could be wrong. But I think fans are kind of quick to it, and they kind of got to let this play out a little bit. We'll see what happens, but give everyone a chance, right?
Seriously, yeah. I played in Roanoke, and I think it took them 5 years to make playoffs. So it's you really got to build this thing up. You got to have a lot of patience with your support as far as ownership goes, and there has to be that kind of mutual understanding that it might take a little time to do what they did in their first year in the Federal Hockey League is absolutely amazing, and you can't really bat an eye at that. But I think it's a little bit more difficult in the SPHL, just as far as competition goes.
Right. No, I agree with you. We'll see what happens there. I just thought it was a very interesting hire, and you being a SUNY guy, me being a SUNY guy, I thought it was interesting. So
where'd you go to?
We're labeled as a SUNY school, but JCC here in Watertown.
Hey, I like it. It. I'm
done with school. You went to my dream school. I really did want to go to SUNY Cortland for sports management, but your boy went the military route instead. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, hey, thanks for your service. But SUNY Cortland's a great college. They've really turned around the program after I left. I walked so they could run type of deal. But Joe Cardarelli's doing a great job with those boys, and they ended up knocking off Plattsburgh. I believe it was 2 years ago, and won the SUNYAC final. And we picked up the guy Anthony Bernardo on Binghamton, so that was a cool little connection.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And fun fact for those of you that don't know, one famous person that actually went to SUNY Cortland and did sports management was none other than actor Kevin James.
Yep, and we got Mick Foley too.
Mick Foley, yep, another one, yep.
BWF. Got a couple good hockey coaches there as well. Nate Lehman with Providence College, and then Derek Lalonde, who's assistant coach for the Toronto Maple Leafs right now.
See, Coach Sherwood has all the knowledge. Got it all.
Yeah, we got a good history over there.
Right. So I know we talked about Berlin a little bit, and I just wanted to ask your opinion about PD here. But also, you played in the SPHL. You went to the Mississippi River Kings for a few seasons. Now here we are 8 years later, and an FPHL team will return to South Haven. what do you kind of think about that, considering that the owner signs your paychecks now? Like in the kind of full circle, right? Like it's kind of strange.
It is full circle. No, he was asking me about it earlier in the year and my thoughts on it. Obviously, I got a big heart for Memphis, and I consider that my first full year of pro, and I ended up playing there until they folded, but had a absolute blast playing down there. Great barbecue. You go down on Beale Street, you got a bunch of live music. You got Midtown as well. It's a pretty cool scene. You can go to Memphis Grizzlies games, but the arena, we had apartments, like you could walk to the arena, so it's super convenient. But I absolutely love playing down there. It was a total blast, that's for sure.
Right. And kind of staying on the whole Mississippi thing. So, your former player Mac Jansen obviously took an opportunity to go and coach this new Mid-South Monarch team. When he kind of made that decision, what were your guys' conversations like at that point? Like, what kind of advice did you give him, and what did he take? What did he not?
Yeah, well, Mac, he's been playing for a while, so he knows what he's doing when it comes to the hockey side. It's more so about putting out fires every single day. As a coach, like the hockey part to me is pretty easy, but moving guys into their apartments, getting them the right equipment, making, like, their car broke down on the way to practice, stuff like that. That's the kind of things that don't get seen to the general public. But I honestly just gave him a list of all my tasks throughout the day or throughout the week, and I think that showed him a little guidance on what he's going to be getting himself into. So Mac's going to do a great job. He's got the X's and O's down, but also a great competitor. He's just been in their shoes, so he'll be able to motivate the guys as well.
Right. And I know, obviously, this is a game where, you can't predict the future. Every year is different than the next. You're never going to have the same roster each year. You can't protect everybody. Obviously, being 3-time champs, you'd like to, right? But
yeah, I don't like this expansion too much. No, it's good. It's good for the league. It creates better competition. So definitely all for it. You just get a little upset when you see some of your guys go, but you find new ones that the fans fall in love with.
Absolutely. So, I mean, speaking of the expansion, when Mac Jansen, he wasted no time in the expansion draft. I mean, taking 3 of his former teammates in the first 3 rounds. Like I said, obviously you guys can't protect everyone, but what are your thoughts on the roster that he's assembled so far?
I think it's solid. I mean, they got, one of the best captains in single A hockey in Tyson Kirkby. So leadership is kind of set there, and then picking up CC and Emerson Emery is, 2 soldiers that are willing to do whatever it takes for the team. Whether, he played forward, defense for me. CC, he was kind of in and out of the lineup a little bit this year and never once complained. So that kind of establishes a good culture as far as knowing what it takes to win with those 3. But I just saw he picked up a really solid goaltender with some AHL games, so that's huge. You're going to need a good goalie down the stretch, especially in playoffs. They can steal you some games, but yeah, he's doing a great job building the team. Brody Duncan on the back end as well, getting him back in the league. We were all together in Columbus when I was assistant coaching down there, and absolutely love Brody's game as far as his tenacity, aggressiveness, ending plays, being simple with the puck as well.
Right. No, I love that. I think, honestly, a lot of these expansion teams are doing very well. Like, even Fresno, I'm surprised. I think that their roster is looking good. And I don't know if you saw my clip earlier, but they now have 6 defensemen that are over 6 feet tall.
That's, how you build a back end. I think that's how Vegas won it the 1 year, a couple of years ago. It was all about, having a big back end and making sure, you got rangy guys to kind of disrupt plays, end plays, and then just let the forwards kind of do their thing. So, yeah, good on Fresno. I would just be looking more at how Carolina won this year.
100%.
You got to make sure those big boys can skate. That's all I'm saying.
That's right. Speed. I am speed. That's what Lightning McQueen said.
Yeah.
So, I have a question here. I wrote down because I don't want to screw this up. So I got to read this, guys. Give me a break here. So Binghamton, like you said, Tyson Kirkby, you guys lost your captain, a workhorse in Emery, a 25-point defenseman in Cervoni, and a 30-plus goal scorer in Jansen. So since most of your offense kind of went through, Kirkby, Jansen, and Yatesy, what is the offense going to look like moving forward? Like, how do you replace that kind of firepower?
You got to bring in new talent, and then you got to get some of your returners on board. So we just signed Bondarenko the other day, so hope to get Stubbs, Garrett Sargis, and then a whole lot of rookies after that. So we're going to see some new faces. I think it's going to be very similar to my first full season with the Black Bears, where we had 16 rookies and we ended up winning it all. So a lot of that goes to, picking the right guys and then making sure they progress throughout the season. If you're a coach that can't get your players better, from October to April, then you're going to have a real problem. And I think Quinville and we take great pride in that as far as improving players and making sure that this is a development league. And, we want to send our guys on eventually. That's for sure, especially with the young guys. Older guys, they can get a little comfy and stay around as long as they're working hard.
Oh, I know you got you guys. I'll call them out here like your Tyler Jurches. They want to be, a big fish in a little pond. I get it.
I love G. He was
same here. I miss him. He needs to get back in this league in some way, shape, or form.
Oliveri a lot. I don't. People argue back and forth who's got a better shot, but there's nothing like that. That kind of Ovechkin spot on the power play for those two. Loved coaching G, but by the time I got him, it was just about over. But
right.
Total mutual respect for the guy. That's for
100%.
sure.
He needs to be back in this league somehow, some way. But he's got a lot of good life things going on, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And obviously, I try to stay like as unbiased as possible. I try not to pick favorites, but it's hard not to notice how great of a recruiter you are. And I know you don't want to go giving your secrets away, but like, what would be your kind of piece of advice to recruiting for first-year coaches?
You want to get talented players, but you want to get the right character in the locker room. So typically what I'm looking for, and it's as simple as looking on elite prospects, seeing if they wore a letter in college or juniors or something like that. And then making sure you're doing your research, talk to, players that you're connected with that might've played with them, talk to their coaches, and kind of get a good feel on where they're at. So that's kind of the secret sauce, but you also got to build up these relationships too. And that, it takes time. It's, places I played in juniors, places I played in college, crossing paths with all sorts of hockey people. So you don't want to be burning bridges too much. You want people to, you want these coaches that you're talking to about their players to know that they're going to be in good hands and you're looking out for their best interests. So I think kind of keeping that steady and getting good reports from players that have played for me makes things a whole lot easier.
Right. I know SP's a little bit of a different beast. I don't want to say they're more like numbers wise, but for example, if they need a body for a weekend, they'll reach out and just take a body and then return them to their Fed team after the weekend's up or whatever the case may be. But when it comes to like FPHL development specifically, do you think that like some teams kind of give up on the player too soon without like really helping their development process?
Yeah, totally. Or they don't know how to develop players. They don't know how to kind of put in the extra work or have those one-on-one video conversations that you need to do, and try to tap into something that you see improvement, throughout the season. And I like to call them coaches moments, where something you did in practice that week, or something you talked about with that player, whether it's a video session or just a side conversation of like, hey, you need to get your shot off quicker, you need to have a quicker trigger, and then they do that, on Friday night, and you're like, oh, I reached the guy, like I'm helping him get better. So I think I do a great job at that, as far as before practice, after practice, and then kind of pointing out our habits and details that we want as a team. And you just hope they listen, you hope they get better throughout the season. And it's been trending that way for the past few years.
Right. No, I get that. It just seems like sometimes, a team will sign a young guy and it's like, oh, it's been a week and he's already released. Like, I don't feel like he's had enough time to really prove himself yet, but okay, it's not my call.
It's a quick eye, sometimes you might jump the gun on it. For me, especially at the beginning of the year, like in training camp, I think the first 2 days I tell the guys it's no judgment. Like I'm trying not to pay attention too much, because I don't want to make the guys nervous. I don't want to critique every bad pass, every fumbled puck, stuff like that. So you gotta give them a chance. And then there's sometimes where they might be the best player in practice, and then they're just not a gamer. So I've seen that scenario a bunch of times, and I've seen. I got a good example. Zach Sirota, he's not my favorite practice player, but that guy's a gamer, and that's a guy that you want on your team in playoffs. And he's helped us win a couple championships now with strong play down the stretch.
Right, love that. And I did want to mention real quick, I forgot to mention this at the very beginning of the show, but for those of you guys watching, if you want to jump in the chat, if you got any questions, pop them in there, and we'll try to get to as many as we can. A bunch of people have already asked me questions, so I have them saved here. So got them in front of me. We'll ask a few as we go throughout this conversation here. One of them being this. So I won't say a lot of people, but I've seen quite a few kind of negative comments about Binghamton, because fans are kind of assuming that this is going to be a down year. Won 3 championships in a row, lost a lot of key players. What message do you have to those fans, or just doubters of Binghamton in general?
We've been doubted before. People said we couldn't get it done the first time, repeat, get it done a third time. So keep doubting. Like I like our team coming into the season as, you want to call it, an underdog. I mean, we've been champions for over 800 days, so I don't think we're too much of an underdog. But there's faces that these that fans or other fans have seen for the past couple of years. But I would say believe in my recruiting ability, and watch the team develop throughout the season. I think you're never gonna have the same team at the beginning of the year towards the end, so it might be different. I never really know like how the season's gonna go each year, and we've managed to win a lot of games. It might be different this year where we're a 2 or 3 seed, but I would always watch out for the Black Bears when playoffs come around. That's for sure.
Heard it here first, ladies and gents. Illusion, don't worry. I'll get to that question. Don't worry. So I know, just as a coach, you guys have already accomplished so much. We talk about it all the time. You've repeated 3 times in a row now. So obviously, winning a cup is the ultimate goal. You've done that 3 straight times now. What's another goal for you personally?
For me personally, it's moving players up. I really care about what they want out of their hockey career. So if they want to go to the SP or make it up to the East Coast, I'm going to do everything in my power to try and get them there. Not only during the season with helping them with their habits and details, but also making the phone calls in the off season to let coaches know, hey, we got a stud down here that you might want to take a look at. And I know the SP really trusts my word. I've tried my best to kind of tap into the East Coast and try to help out players there, but
Mhm.
it's a little bit more difficult for our league to get recognized in that sense. So that's a personal goal of mine is moving players up leagues. I think that's huge, and that's a big part about being in the Federal Hockey League.
Right. No, I love that, and I'm assuming you're one of those coaches too that you obviously have to look out for your organization first. But let's say you have a player that from the West Coast and needs to get home and wants to play at home. You'll probably do your best to get him on a West Coast team, correct?
I'll try.
Well, maybe
I'll
maybe
try
not
my
exactly.
best.
But.
It's just you always got to you want to keep the player's best interest in mind, but you have to keep perspective of your own team as well. And if a player comes to me and they want to move up, I'm all for it. Like, we have a motto in our locker room. It's painted on the wall. It's move up or win a cup, and all for it. But as far as lateral moves around our league, I'm a little skeptical. I'll try to convince the player a little bit more, because you might think it's better in another place. You might get more sunshine than Binghamton does, like every part of the country. But there's nothing like playing in Bingo, and you're not going to get the same staff. You're not going to get the same facility. You're just not going to be that well organized compared to us. And I think we got the routine down to a T, where other places you hear stories about kind of how they run practice, how they go about their travel and stuff like that. And I'd say that's a huge difference. But I'll always look out for the best interest of the player. That's for sure.
No, I love hearing that, because I want to say at this level, but just in general, you hear some horror stories about coaches, and it just kind of grinds your gears a little bit. And ultimately, I like to see a coach like you that you want to see the player advance and do what's best for their career.
Yeah, and it takes a while to build this up and help players out, but also get to the spot where we're at. These first year teams, it's a little difficult, and there's a lot of things you can't see that are probably going to be some obstacles down the road.
Right. All right. Let me see what I got here. Got another fan question just in here. Defense has played a huge role in the last 3 cups. Thoughts on how this defense will look this upcoming season?
Well, I think defense is kind of one of our core identities. Like, we have a bunch of different philosophies. We want to end plays early. We don't play man on man. We play a zone. So I think it comes down to the structure a bit. So it's about teaching your players how to play within that structure. What's the details and habits within that structure, and then some predictability as far as once you do get that puck and you get that turnover, where our exits are going to be, and where players need to be as far as being predictable in a sense. But yeah, it's like we're going to be missing a guy like Dan Stone. We got Austin Durazio moving up, but I have a good feeling that we're going to have a solid core back. I'm working on Jesse Anderson. Maybe we get Weber, be kind of a part-time guy. But then we just got Chichu Lathland, and I think he's a underdog. I think he's gonna surprise a lot of people this year. He lit up the Manitoba Junior Hockey League, and he's a 6th defenseman for us. So I think it's gonna be kind of a next man up mentality. But I do have players coming in. I do have kind of replacements for the guys that have moved on. But we're gonna be going young and hungry up front, back end, and the goal, and hopefully a lot of these rookies can showcase themselves.
Absolutely. Love that. And what else I got here? So the question that everybody wants to know, and I've already got it like 3 times. There's rumors of you swirling saying you may or may not coach the Black Bears this year. Can you clarify for everyone right here, right now, what the plan is?
I I think I'll know by the end of the week, but it kind of it's looking like I'll be the coach of Binghamton next year, and who knows? Maybe in the next couple of days I might get a phone call. But I put my name in a couple hats out there, and is done plenty of interviews, and I've been offered jobs, and maybe it wasn't the right fit, maybe it wasn't the right location. A lot of these things need to kind of fall into place where my family's on board with it, and I can see it being a future where I'm living there for the next 3 to 5 years. So it's hard to kind of get those things situated, but I have one more to hear back from, so we'll see what happens. But it is looking like I'm coming back to Bingo, and if I'm not, I know we're gonna have a pretty damn good coach, and I'm gonna help them. I'm gonna help him, kind of set up for success as far as I'm doing all the recruiting right now. So he's gonna have a very good team if I do depart.
Right. No, I love that. And, I'm the same kind of person where, I like to leave things better than I found them. So if it does come down to that, then, Bingo is still set up for success. Love that. And I won't pry because you said your name is still out there being considered. So I'm not going to ask you what team. Are you allowed to tell us what league that's in or no?
It's the East Coast Hockey League.
East Coast? Okay.
Yeah, and I've had offers in the past in the SPHL, not only this year, but years in the past, and I get treated so well by our ownership, by Andreas specifically, and our relationship means a lot to me, and he's let me take the reins and never undermines me as a coach. He supports every decision I make. Whether it's right or wrong, I know he's got my back. So it's kind of hard to, mimic that relationship somewhere else. So I'm super grateful for what I have in Binghamton. It's close to home as well. So if I want to jet home after a Saturday night home game in Bingo, I can go see my wife for 24 hours on a Sunday, and we can watch an Eagles game, and I can come back up Monday and still get the job done. So there's a lot of conveniency, comfortability with Binghamton, and I'm in a really happy place too. So it's kind of hard to leave something when you might be sacrificing your well-being.
Right. Interesting question here from Gary Ryan, but have you had the best cheesesteak in the world? It's an inside joke. I have no
idea. There's a couple of good spots. The big one right now, pretty popular, is Angelo's.
Okay.
It's right in the Italian district. I think it's on like 9th or 10th Street. Awesome spot. Portnoy, he loves the pizza there, so there's usually a line like around the corner, so it's kind of tough to get. But we have an amazing spot about 5-minute walk from my house. It's called Del Sandro's. It's in Manayunk, and it's pretty dangerous. You can go there a couple times a week and double it down. There's another great spot called Skinny Joe's. I'm sure Joe's not so skinny, but it's right by the stadiums, and
okay.
Unbelievable. But you can get a great cheesesteak just about anywhere. Classic Pat's and Geno's, you split it in half and compare which one's better. It's an awesome experience in Philly.
Right. Yeah. He says Verona's.
Verona's. So I haven't tried that one. Now I gotta put it on.
There we go. Add one more to the bucket list, right?
Yeah.
All right. Don't worry, y'all. I'll get to all the questions as much as I can here. Moving on, kind of back to expansion. We're up to 17 teams in this league now. It almost seems like crazy because I remember when there was 4, and now we're up to 17. Obviously, not every team will play every team because of travel restrictions, but can you share some of your way too early predictions on this year?
I think the California teams are going to be good. It's a super attractive place. I think a lot of players they want to migrate there, and just because it's it's not the Sunshine State, it's a Golden State. So it'd be a pretty cool place to, play professional hockey. You just got to make sure you know what you're getting yourself into, and making sure it's the right fit for yourself. And I think they'll be pretty good, but I think Mid-South is going to make some noise. I'd expect Monroe to kind of, get past the first round and not surprise people. I think they have a very talented roster. They're just getting started though, and that's it. That's the thing with these new teams. It takes a couple of years to build up that culture, and have the right people in your room, and kind of have that understanding of what it takes to win. And sometimes it can happen in an instance like PD we saw this year, and you get hot at the right time, and you're battling all year, and your best games are in March and April, and who knows. So yeah, I think the California team should be pretty good. Mid-South, Port Huron, they're always good. They're always super competitive. Yeah, pretty. I think it's just going to be overall pretty competitive going into next year. But I'm happy about the amount of teams, and hopefully we get to play some more, and get away from Watertown and Danbury just a little bit. We all need each other, but I'd like to see those games go down to like 10 each.
Right. No, that'd be ideal. And speaking of 17 teams, I know people have like different opinions on this, but do you view this as like more opportunities for players to play, or do you think it kind of dilutes the talent pool?
No, I think there's plenty of players out there now. I think there's an influx of players after COVID, and I also think it's just the culture nowadays, just parents encouraging their kids to follow out their dreams, and not get a job as soon as they turn 18 years old or the day they graduate college. So I think there's plenty of good players out there, and there's a ton of talent to spread out. That's for sure.
Right. And I know we spoke about it before. Not every team is going to play each other, unfortunately. But if you could choose any of the new expansion teams, what team would you want to travel to, and why? Between Minnesota, Mid-South, Fresno, Stockton, Oceanside, and Baton Rouge.
I'd like to play any of those California teams, so we could have a good rookie trip, give the boys the green light, after a Saturday night game, fly out there, you feel like rock stars. I think that'd be fun. But the team that I want to play the most is Mid-South. I want to beat those guys up.
That's what you get for leaving us, right?
Yeah. It's just, I've always been super competitive, and wish those boys nothing but the best, except when they're playing against us.
That's right. And it's like your old stomping grounds too, so it's like a double whammy there.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few Sherwood jerseys running around.
I'm sure you'll see a couple in the stands. Shoot, I remember, I don't remember, 17, 18 probably, whenever Carolina Thunderbirds first started up, and we went down there for our first road trip, and there was people with Karaszewicz jerseys with the Polar Twins, and I was like, oh my God. You still have those?
Yeah, he was a stud player there. I remember talking to Derek Landmesser about him, because I almost played for him in Port Huron, and Port Huron was the place to be back then. So I was trying to get out of Berlin, and then I ended up getting a tryout in Memphis, and he wished me luck, Trevor, and I always appreciated that. I wish we got to cross paths, but yeah, he put up quite a bit of points. I think a lot of it on the power play, though. He worked that half wall pretty well.
100%. All right, what else we got here? I got another one here. Actually, this is kind of different. Someone brought this up, so I had to do some math and actually look this up. So it may depend on each team, but for Binghamton, for example, let's say you do go to Fresno. By vehicle, I should say, this is a 41-hour drive. So if you're in a bus, we're looking at 45 to 50,
60,
right? I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, at least. And I know most teams don't have sleepers. So drivers can only drive for a limited amount of time legally. time and distance, I believe it is. So does that mean that these teams in, Binghamton, Watertown, Danbury, do you guys have to fly to California?
Well, I know with our ownership, we're flying because we have the best ownership in the league, and they really take care of our travel, and it's something I kind of brought to their attention when we were traveling on a coach bus and leaving for a game on a Friday to Michigan, and trying to get a W that Friday night. So they're willing to pay the extra night for hotels, but also when it's over 12, 14 hours, stuff like that, I can typically convince them to pull out the wallet and fly. So we're lucky to have such amazing ownership in that sense. But if another team doesn't want to fly out there, it's that's going to be a week-long trek of practicing at random rinks along the way and scheduling that, and it's a whole lot of extra work. So I think most teams would be flying. I'm assuming.
Right, because just doing that simple math there. If you're consecutive, you're driving for at least 3, if not 4 days, and then you got to play competitive hockey 2 nights in a row, or it's West Coast, so maybe 3, maybe 4. I don't know.
Yeah, you might as well just take the 2 L's if you're not, having the right travel accommodations to, prep your team for the weekend to get those wins. And those Friday wins, they're absolutely huge to me. That's kind of what I preach during the year is that's the game that we need in playoffs. You need to win on the road that first game if you're a top seed, because it's just the way the seeding lines up, and we take those games very seriously.
100%. We are running low on time here, so I'm going to jump over to some fan questions. If you guys got anything, like I said, super interactive. If you guys got anything, throw them in the chat, and I'll do my best to get to as many as I can here. Where did it leave off here? Where do you see the Bears this year with a new dynasty, if that's what you want to call it? I would call it dynasty. 3 years.
I just think you'll see another competitive team that absolutely hates losing, and they're going to be fun to watch, just like any Bears team, from the second year to this year. It's going to be entertaining, and there might be little adjustments or new faces, and it might be a little hard to get used to, but I think it's going to be a team that the community's proud of.
Love that. And me being here in Watertown, I plan on coming down to a few Binghamton games. Also, completely unrelated, but for those fans that like to go to travel to Binghamton, I went to the Binghamton Zoo, and I was rather impressed with that place.
It's not bad. Ross Park Zoo.
Is that what's? I can't remember what it's called.
I live right by it, and then we got some connections there. Tyson Kirkby's wife works there, so they'll get some of the players to go see the red pandas. They got a big red panda exhibit. So I personally haven't been up there, but happy to hear that. It's just another attraction for me to let players know when I'm recruiting them. Come to the Binghamton Zoo.
That's right. Wherever I go, my toddler goes with me. So we go to hockey games, we go to zoos, man. So
that's awesome. That's a good time.
All right. That question we've actually already answered a couple times, so I'll stay away from that. Oh my God, here they all come. I knew it was only a matter of time. We talked about the Bears. You project them being 1 to 3 seed. Coach Sherwood does believe they're going to be in the playoffs. What about Port Huron? Do you think they're good enough to make the playoffs this year? Someone's asking in the chat here.
Yeah, I do. I think we've faced them. What is it? Is that 2 years in a row in the North Division Finals? It might have been Motor City one year. But yeah, I expect them to be in playoffs. They've been kind of getting better each and every year, and their win percentage is getting up, but they still got to get through us. That's for sure.
That's right. All roads lead to Binghamton.
Yep, until next May.
I-81, and we're always under construction, baby. All right. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. I'm just reading all these, trying to pick out some good ones here. It seems like most players or coaches have a memorable road trip story in the Fed. Can you share one that comes to mind, whether you were a player or a coach?
Man, player or coach? I'll go player. This was, I had a lot of fun in my playing days, and this was kind of towards spring break time. But Dylan Fox and I, my second year in the SPHL, we ended up going out the night before a game and played guilty in Pensacola, Florida. And I think that might have been part of the reason why I chose Pensacola, Florida after Mississippi folded that second year. But yeah, we had a great game. I think I notched a goal or something like that. So I thought that was, part of the recipe to be playing well, and then I didn't do it so well the following game. So there's one like green light story, I guess. But for man, we've had a ton of good road trips with our team, and a lot of it comes on those extended stays and down south. We had an amazing Athens trip 2 years ago, and as soon as we won that final game, I gave the boys the green light to go out and have some fun, and the stories were flying the next day, and those are the good times that you like to remember. But you got to make sure you're kind of balancing that work and fun throughout the year. You want the guys to let loose. You want them to kind of have that pro experience and really enjoy themselves and have some stories to share with their buddies when they go back in the summer.
100%. No, that's awesome. And let me see here. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know we're getting late here.
No, shoot away.
By completing the three-peat, it almost felt like the Bears completed the storyline. What do you see as the next chapter for the team?
I see, a change in leadership, turnover of players, but the same culture and team identity is going to be there. So we are looking to, I don't know what to call it, maybe four-peat. We're looking to win another championship. So that's always been the goal. We're not in a rebuild. We're not in a retool stage. We're here to win, and we're here to cement that cup in Binghamton and make sure it doesn't go anywhere.
Love it. Another one. If you end up staying in Binghamton for another season, will you chirp Jansen and Kirkby?
No, I won't unless they say something to me first. But I got a lot better at that this past year. The first couple of years, you couldn't shut me up. With the coaches on the other side or with the officials. But I think Quinn Bell helped me out a lot with that this year, as far as showing professionalism and kind of acting the part. If you want to move up and climb the ladder to be a coach at the next level, you got to be a pro when it comes to being behind the bench. So I'm sure I'll say a couple things in my head, though. That's for sure.
I'll read my final one, and then if anyone else has any final questions, I'll throw them in the chat here. But not all teams have hired their head coach yet. I think we're still waiting on 3 more vacancies, which is kind of crazy to me, but that's besides the point. There are currently 5 first-year head coaches in the FPHL this year. What's one piece of advice you would want to share with those guys to begin their coaching career?
Be yourself. Just don't try to act or pretend like another coach that you see in the NHL or something. I really think you gotta stick to who you are, and not change up your language, not change up your verbiage. Talk to them as if you were a player. And I think it's a lot easier to relate with your players if you're genuine and honest. So they can pick up on that pretty quickly if you're preaching something that you never did as a player and you just played and stuff like that. So I would just say, stay true to yourself.
Right. Love that. All right. I guess we got nothing else in the chat here, so I'll leave you with my final question then. Do you have any final remarks to Binghamton Black Bear Nation or Benchminer followers?
Yeah. Black Bears first. You guys are the best fans in the league. I am honored the way you embrace me and in your community, and super thankful for helping us win championships. You're a big part of this, and we couldn't get it done without you. And Bench Minor fans, thanks for helping out Sean and promoting this league and getting a little bit more eyes on it. Anything that we can do to kind of promote hockey in general is always a great thing. I believe it's the best sport in the world, and involves the best people as well. So thanks for tuning in and listening, and go Black Bears.
Absolutely love that. Coach, I do appreciate you taking time to talk to us and hang out for an hour. And man, I'm looking forward to hockey season. It's been a long off season. I am so ready to come back to bingo. I'm going to try to be there for the home opener.
Awesome. Well, we'll welcome you with big arms, and can't wait to see you, Sean. And we'll be crossing paths soon. Hockey's
100%
creeping up on us. It's around the corner.
Yeah, it'll be here before you know it. All right, real quick note before we log off here. Next Monday night, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our next guest, y'all probably don't know her, but she is a FPHL draft pick this year, 2026. She was selected by the Toronto Scepters. So pretty excited to have her on. We'll talk about pro women's hockey and have some fun. So her name is Alyssa Rigaldo. So pretty excited to have her on. So tune in next week, 8 p.m. I'll put out the info tomorrow. Y'all have a blessed night.